What's up everyone, Lee Mustang here coming at you with yet another Let's Play, this time in the form of Dragon Ball Raging Blast. So as a kid, Tenkaichi 3 quickly became my gold standard for what a Dragon Ball Z game should be. It had a massive roster pulling characters from Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT, so for me that was incredible. I had never seen anything like it before in a game, so many playable characters, and yeah, some of them were kind of recycled or they had very similar skill sets. To me it was still cool that if I wanted to create any sort of fight, I could do so because it had so many characters in it. Then Burst Limit came out, and Burst Limit greatly disappointed me. It only went up to the Cell games. It had a limited roster. It was a nice looking game, but when I found out that it was so limited to that extent, I kind of skipped over it. So I have no memories with Burst Limit. It never really appealed to me. Maybe one day if I ever get it in my collection, I'll do a playthrough of it and see what it was like, give it a chance so many years later. But when I saw Raging Blast come out, I was kind of like, oh, this seems like a return to form. This seems like what I would want to see in a Dragon Ball game, because we went back to like the open arena style fighting, knock people through different buildings and obstacles and, you know, the terrain. So I was like, oh, I can't wait to play this. And I remember playing the demo for it when they released it on Xbox 360 forever, right? So I'm going to be revisiting it on the PS3 since I've been doing everything pretty much for PlayStation consoles up until now. I figured may as well continue the trend, add it to my PS3 section of my library, and revisit it and see if it was as good as I remembered. Is it going to frustrate me? I don't know. I really don't remember. So let's go ahead and check out Dragon Ball Raging Blast. Do we get like a little special? Yes, we do. I'm so used to playing so many PlayStation 2 games that I forget that PS3 games were doing this. So I'm guessing once it shows us Dragon Ball, yeah, it just loops. So let's jump right into it. This system has a feature that automatically uploads. Yeah, that's fine. You can see this is the first time I boot up this game on the PS3. It should be fun. I think we're gonna have fun. Oh, it's creating the trophy set data. So yes, I have played this game before on Xbox 360, but I have no real recollection of it. I'm sure stuff is going to come back to me as we progress through it. I'm more than sure of it, but I can't remember. I remember there was like a Tetris thing for like setting up your stats, or that could be Raging Blast 2, I don't know. I could be confusing the two. Well, we're all going to find out together. Once, you know, we get our intro scene here. Okertron has been working on this forever, feels like. Cryware. So many companies are working on this. I'm giving credit where credit is due. So you know who to blame if the game is terrible, and if it's fantastic, you know who to give thanks to. Alright, so we're now loading. This I don't remember. Do we get our video? A little intro? Alright, yes, we do. It's definitely a step up from Tenkaichi 3's graphics. It feels like the cell shading is a little cleaner, at least from that intro. One of the best fights. What's Super Saiyan 2? Yeah. Everybody knows the story by now, because if you've been following my videos, then you already know what it is. On top of that, you should have already watched Dragon Ball Z, because, you know, it's a great anime. It's a nice shonen anime. There's our boy Vegeta. Hopefully he's as... Oh, it's Majin Vegeta, my mistake. Hopefully he's as interesting as he was in Tenkaichi 3. Oh, there's our boy Piccolo. You already know that's my favorite character. I don't know if it's me or not, but every Dragon Ball Z song that I hear like this, I feel like it's always the same people singing it. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I feel like it's the same person. Dragon Ball Raging Blast. No save data exists? Well, yeah, we're gonna create new save data. Save data was created. This game has an autosave feature. Do not turn off power when the game data is being saved. How about not just randomly turning off your PS3, because that just causes a whole bunch of headaches. This mode lets you play through the original story of Dragon Ball, as well as some what-if stories, so that's definitely what we're spending most of our time in. Lets you change various in-game options, museum, character encyclopedia, and replays. Dojo's mode lets you learn various battle controls, as well as practice to your heart's content. Ultimate Customize, this mode lets you customize items and super attacks equipped on your characters. World Tournament lets you compete in a tournament for up to 16 players. An online battle, this mode allows you to compete in battles online. Versus mode, this competitive fighting mode lets you choose characters and stages for battles. Super Battle Trial, this mode lets you compete in ranked battles with various different rules. Alright, so, like we've been doing for every single one of these games, should probably start off at the dojo. So, Battle Dojo for beginners. This is a training mode for beginners that teaches the basic movements necessary in battle. There's probably gonna be a video or two of this, so I hope you guys are ready. Oh, hey. Whee! Let's collect these. Yahoo! I miss when Dragon Ball games used to do this. Where I could just collect, like, capsules. Or, like, not capsules, but you always had these mini-games on the load screens. I thought this was genius. They need to bring this back. Oh my god, I'm so not used to being this smooth. This looks so smooth.
Listen up, Gohan. I'm going to start with the basic moves. Got it?
I'm ready, Mr. Piccolo.
It looks great. The first lesson is on moving. This is the most basic thing you have to know. Move the L stick in the direction you want to go during battle. If you're engaging an enemy, you can move the stick up to approach him, or you can move it down to the edge to edge away from him. You can also press left or right to circle around the enemy. Now move a little bit to move slowly, and move all the way to go more quickly. Right, let me give you a demonstration. Got it, Gohan? Now give it, no, now you give it a shot. Move around 3 times and we're done.
Hey, Mr. Piccolo. I think I know how to move now.
Yeah, but you need to know it like the back of your hand.
I mean, moving the L stick is not that hard. Moving around doesn't cost you any ki. Remember that when you're dodging enemy attacks. If you lose your enemy, moving the L stick will just make you move that way. You'll have to engage the enemy before you can circle around him. Got that?
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Free money. Saving data. Do not turn off power to the system. Next! Now let's learn about dashing. What's dashing, Mr. Piccolo? Dashing is when you're moving around faster than you normally would. Move L while holding down X and you'll be able to move faster to that direction. In order to stop, release X. Right, let me give you a demonstration. Okay, now you try. Pull off 3 dashes and we're done. Alright, that was easy.
Dashing is very useful in battle, right, Mr. Piccolo?
It sure is. Glad to see you're using it.
Pressing X without moving L will activate a homing dash. The homing dash will let you approach to the opponent automatically. Press X again to stop the homing dash. Gohan, make sure to learn. Oh, I'm sorry. Make sure to learn how to use these 2 dashes. Got it?
Enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Oh boy, these saves are gonna take forever, huh? Now we're finally ready for some melee combat. Mr. Piccolo, what's melee mean? A melee attack is when you directly contact your enemy, like with a punch or kick. Press the square button to execute a melee attack. Square attacks are called rush attacks. You can chain up to 5 by tapping the button repeatedly. Let me give you a demonstration. Rush attacks not only damage your enemy, they also refill your ki gauge. But enough talk, Gohan. The only way to learn is by doing it. Hit me 3 times with full rush attacks combos and we're done.
Yippee! I'm finally starting to land my attacks.
Now don't get cocky because you did it once or twice.
Actually, I did it 3 times, Mr. Piccolo. Rush attacks are the most basic part of your battle arsenal. They can serve as a starting point for all kinds of combos. Press the triangle button during a rush and you'll change your attack into all kinds of things. Also, the same button will launch different moves if you're in midair when you press it. The more you mix up your attacks, the more moves will be at your disposal. Don't forget that. Of course, if you want to learn more about how the triangle button can change your moves, Goku will teach you that in the Battle Dojo, Rush Alternative / Smash Action Set.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Next. Next up is defense training. This is gonna be important. Is it really that big a deal, Mr. Piccolo? You imbecile! Get lazy with your defense and it'll cost you your life. It's the only way you can protect yourself from the enemy's attack. Defense is very important in order to protect yourself. Press R1 button to activate. Once the defense is activated, you won't take any damage from rushes or other melee attacks. Some attacks hurt you anyway, and other attacks can break your defense, so watch out. Okay, time to show you exactly how important defending yourself can be.
Huh. Wow, I've got nothing to fear as long as I defend, don't I?
It's enough from you, Gohan.
Your big mouth ain't gonna help you in battle. You need to learn how to defend quickly and nimbly.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Alright, so everything's pretty basic so far. Although they did change one of the buttons, so that's important for me to know. Now defending is on a shoulder button. Okay, next up is Ki Blast. I'm ready, Mr. Piccolo. You can concentrate your ki into an energy blast that deals damage to your enemies. Press the triangle button to launch one. Tap triangle repeatedly to fire rush blasts, one after another. Here, let me fire off a few rush blasts for you. Ki blasts let you attack the enemy from afar, but they consume ki, so don't overuse them. Now it's your turn, Gohan. Try hitting me with 9 rush blasts. And let me warn you, don't give me any wimpy ki blasts because those won't work on me.
I can do this! I know I can!
Finally getting serious, huh?
You can fire ki blasts while moving or in midair, so use them whenever the time is right. You need to practice until you're comfortable with firing them during any given situation.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
So far, some things feel the same, some things are a little different. Now it's time for ki charge training. I'm ready, Mr. Piccolo. Dashing and ki blast cost you ki every time you use them, as you're well aware by now. Running out of ki puts you at a major disadvantage in battle. That's where charging comes in. Press down to charge ki. Hold it down to keep on charging. You're totally defenseless when charging though. Wide open to attack, so watch out. Right, let me give you a demonstration. Yeah, so that's another different thing. Okay, now you try charging your ki. Fill your ki gauge up to max and we're done.
That's it.
Alright, my key is fully charged now.
Now you get the hang of it.
Just remember, Gohan, the more powerful the move, the more ki it'll usually consume. Always keep an eye on your ki gauge in battle. That way you'll be ahead of the game.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
I wonder how long the training mode in this game is gonna be. There's something else I need to teach you. You know about high tension mode. High tension mode? High tension is when your ki is filled up to the maximum. You can use your ultimate attack only when you are in high tension mode. So unless you thoroughly master high tension mode, you cannot perform an ultimate attack. Listen closely, Gohan. To activate it, keep holding down the, down D-pad when your ki gauge is already full. A blue gauge will fill above the ki gauge. When it's full, you're in high tension mode. Alright, Gohan. Try going into high tension. Pull it off and this lesson is over.
Well, to you. This is amazing. There's this force inside of me, and it's growing.
Yes, that's it. Remember that feeling.
High tension mode is a powerful tool, but you can't stay in that mode forever. You'll go back to normal if you use a skill that consumes a lot of ki, so be careful. As a beginner, step 1 is to learn to charge ki when the enemy isn't a threat to you.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
So you'll say the same thing every single time and I'll know that that's my cue to move on to the next thing. Alright, Gohan, there isn't much training left to give you, but don't let up on me yet. Next up are super attacks, the most important move of all. I'm ready, Mr. Piccolo. Super attacks, or supers, are very powerful moves. They're indispensable to winning battles. It's fair to say that mastering them is what'll make the difference between winning or losing. You have different supers assigned to up, down, left, and right on the R stick. To use a super, just move R in the direction of the skill you want to use. Supers are massively powerful, but they also cost a massive amount of ki. Don't waste them. First up, you better learn how to fire a Masenko. That's one of your supers. Move the R stick up for a Masenko. Perform 3 Masenko blasts, and this lesson is over. Alright. Hey, you may have just noticed a jump cut, and that's because I was interrupted during the video, so no big deal, just picking up exactly where we were. I was supposed to use the super attacks, so we're supposed to do Masenko, which is up on the R stick, so picking up right from here again. I don't know if we have to wait for Piccolo to get up or not, or if I can just spam it. Oh, I could just spam it. Good to know. Let's just move right along.
How about this?
I knew you could do it if you tried hard enough.
Remember, Gohan, you've got several super attacks, not just one. Every warrior has a different set of supers, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. If you want to win, you better learn the supers your enemy has at his disposal too. You'll be able to research them on your own time later on, of course.
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Also, you may notice that I have a little more, I guess we're gonna call it Dragon Ball currency up there, and that was because I had to skip over to where I was because I accidentally backed out of the menu. So that's why you notice that there may be a little more than there was before the jump cut. Saving data once again. Do not turn off power to the system. It's a really big box just to put that tiny message. To wrap up, let's cover ultimate attacks. They're the culmination of everything you've learned. I'm ready, Mr. Piccolo. Mr. Piccolo, are these ultimate attacks different from super attacks? They sure aren't the same thing, Gohan. You better not think they are. Ultimate attacks are your ace in the hole. They're far, far more powerful than any super. That's why you can only use them when you're in high tension mode with a full ki gauge. So if you want to execute an ultimate, you'll have to enter high tension mode first. Once you're high tension, press down on R or press down on the R stick, R3, to launch your ultimate. Ultimate attacks are very powerful, but they will cost you a ton of ki. It's pretty rare you'll have the chance to pull off an ultimate during battle. You'll want to use them when the fate of the fight lies in the balance. Now, you ready, Gohan? It's time to put all your training to the test, and try launching an ultimate of your own. Perform an ultimate attack, and this lesson is over. So first I have to get into high tension. That's I'm already in high tension. No, I'm not in high tension yet. Also, maybe it's just specific to Gohan. Certain things still exist. I don't know that I'll be able to do like those crazy combos that I used to do. Where I could just rely on high tension and just beat the snot of people. That might be gone.
Mr. Piccolo, you think I'm getting better?
Yeah, I suppose you are. A little.
Thank you so much, Mr. Piccolo. I couldn't have done it without you. I can't wait to get even stronger. Would you mind practicing with me, Mr. Piccolo?
That's enough. Now keep it up until you're confident enough to handle it yourself.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo.
Saving data. Do not turn off power. You have earned a trophy. Knowledge of the fighting arts. There's a next topic?
Great. That wraps up your basic training.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Piccolo.
Return to the dojo. Do they mark it as complete somehow? This is just a menu, so I don't think it's gonna take that long to load in. Look at all of that. Alright, so I did Battle Dojo for beginners. I guess we'll do Battle Dojo basics at some other point because we're kind of out of time right now. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to my channel to help it grow. Click the little bell icon to be in the know. And I'll see you guys in the next part. Until then guys, take care.